Have you ever stopped and really thought about what your dog is trying to tell you the moment they place their paw on you? Most people brush it off as an adorable little quirk, a habit they picked up somewhere along the way. But here's what you've probably been missing. That simple gesture carries a remarkably specific message, one your dog has been sending you with intention and purpose. And the way you respond in that exact moment, whether you're fully aware of it or not, can either pull the two of you closer together or quietly teach your dog that reaching out just isn't worth it anymore. There's one behavior in particular that stands apart from all the rest. It's called the still paw, and it has nothing to do with asking for food, playtime, or even your attention. It is, without question, the most sincere and profound declaration of absolute trust a dog is capable of expressing. And far too many owners let that moment slip by without ever recognizing what just happened. So let's pull back the curtain and explore the hidden language living inside your dog's touch. Because your four-legged companion has been speaking to you this whole time, and it's time you truly started listening. When your dog reaches out and rests their paw on you, what you're witnessing is anything but a mindless reflex or a random act of habit. According to animal behaviorists, this particular gesture ranks among the most intentional and sophisticated signals in the entire canine communication system. Think about every tool your dog has available to grab your attention: a sharp bark, a long whine, a persistent nose nudge, circling your feet. They have options, and they know it. So when they bypass all of those louder, more dramatic strategies and choose instead to quietly extend a paw, that choice carries enormous weight. The paw is the soft approach. It is low pressure, unhurried, and controlled. And the fact that your dog chooses it over everything else says something remarkable about how they see you. They have essentially done the math on your relationship and concluded that you are the kind of person who doesn't need to be screamed at. You are someone worth the gentle ask, someone who pays attention, someone who listens. That moment of contact is, in its own quiet way, one of the highest compliments your dog will ever pay you. If you're the kind of person who genuinely wants to understand your dog on the level they actually deserve, not just what they need in a practical sense, but what they're feeling, what they're trying to say, then you're already in exactly the right mindset. Before we go deeper into the specific meanings behind where that paw lands on your body, take a second to like this video if you believe that kind of bond matters, and subscribe to our channel so you're never out of the loop when we release our next guide on decoding the secret language your dog speaks every single day. Every time you share or subscribe, you help us bring this knowledge to more owners who are ready to truly hear what their dogs have been trying to say. Your dog already trusts you enough to reach out gently. Understanding why is how you begin to honor that trust. Here's something most people never consider. The exact location where your dog places their paw is never accidental. Every placement is loaded with its own distinct emotional context. And once you know how to read that map, every touch becomes a sentence, rather than just a sensation. When a paw comes to rest on your arm or your hand, you're generally looking at the most direct and immediate form of canine communication. It's a gentle but clear signal that reads something like, "Hey, I need you right now." It's the dog equivalent of a tap on the shoulder, polite, specific, and purposeful. Shift the placement down to your leg, though, and the emotional tone changes. Dogs frequently make contact at the leg during moments of unease, a clap of thunder outside, a stranger entering the house, a situation they don't quite have a handle on yet. In those instances, they're not looking for a reward or a game. They're using your physical body as an anchor. Your presence, your warmth, and your stillness are literally helping them regulate their own nervous system. You've become their emotional stabilizer. The chest is a far rarer placement, and its meaning runs even deeper. Research has shown that sustained, calm physical contact between a dog and their owner can actually begin to synchronize their heart rates. When your dog presses a paw against your chest, they may be doing something almost poetic, instinctively locating the rhythm of your heartbeat and using its steady pulse to bring their own internal world back into balance. It's biological comfort seeking at its most primal. And then there's the face. If your dog reaches up and touches your face with their paw, you are experiencing something genuinely rare and intimate. Your face is the epicenter of how you communicate with the world. It's where your eyes are, where your breath moves, where every expression your dog has spent years learning to read resides. When a dog chooses to touch your face, they are making a declaration. There is no part of you that they feel the need to guard against. They have let every wall come down. That kind of emotional openness is extraordinary, and it deserves to be recognized as such. Once you understand this geography of touch, you stop simply feeling a paw on your body. You start reading a message written in the only language your dog has ever had. To fully grasp the emotional depth woven into this single gesture, you have to travel all the way back to the very beginning of your dog's life. Further back, even than their first memory. Because the roots of the paw touch reach into a time before your dog could see, before they could hear, before they could understand anything about the world at all. Newborn puppies arrive into existence completely helpless. Their eyes are sealed shut. Their ears don't function. Their only access to the world around them runs through three basic channels: touch, warmth, and scent. In those earliest, most fragile hours and days of life, one of the very first physical behaviors a puppy learns is pressing their tiny paws against their mother while nursing. That instinctive motion does two things simultaneously. On one level, it stimulates the flow of milk. But on a far deeper neurological level, it engraves a powerful association into the puppy's developing brain-paw contact equals safety. Paw contact equals warmth. Paw contact equals survival and love. That programming runs so deep and is embedded so early that it never fully dissolves. Even as the puppy grows into a full-sized adult dog who no longer needs milk, no longer needs their mother in that biological sense, and no longer lives in the helpless vulnerability of those first days of life. The emotional memory remains. The association stays wired in. So when your adult dog, this confident, capable animal, reaches out during a calm and quiet moment with no obvious agenda, no food in sight, no urgent need on the table, what they are doing is reaching back. Back to that first lesson, back to the very first feeling they ever knew about safety. And in that moment, without either of you saying a word, you have become what their mother once was. The ultimate signal that everything is okay. They are telling you, in the most ancient language their body knows, I am safe. I can finally exhale. Recognizing that transforms the entire experience. That paw isn't just a touch, it's a memory of love, pressed gently against your skin. Now here's where things get truly remarkable. Because in many cases, your dog's paw isn't responding to something they see happening with you. It's responding to something happening inside you that you may not have even consciously acknowledged yet. Science has confirmed what many dog owners have long suspected. Dogs possess an extraordinary, almost unnerving ability to detect cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, through scent alone. In controlled studies, dogs have reliably identified stress in human breath and sweat samples, even when the person providing those samples showed absolutely no external, visible signs of being stressed. No clenched jaw, no raised voice, no hurried movements, and yet the dog still knew. Beyond their biochemical sensitivity, dogs are also elite readers of physical microsignals, the kind of information most humans are entirely unconscious of sending. The barely perceptible shift in your body weight that happens a half second before you stand up, the subtle change in your breathing rhythm that occurs right before you speak, the almost invisible muscular tension that settles into your body before you've even decided how you feel about something. Study after study confirms that dogs read human body language with greater accuracy than any other species on the planet, and they do it in real time, constantly. So when your dog reaches over with a paw during what seems like a perfectly normal, perfectly quiet evening when nothing is wrong, when nothing appears off, they may actually be responding to a version of you that you haven't caught up to yet. A version of you that is carrying something, and instead of that paw being a demand for something they want, it becomes an offering. A quiet, physical check-in from a companion who is more tuned into your internal state than most of the people in your life. They are reaching across the space between you to say, I feel what you're carrying, even if you don't have a name for it yet, and I'm right here, That reframing from demand to diagnosis changes everything about how you experience that moment. When a dog's pawing escalates, when it becomes persistent, urgent, almost frantic, many owners make the mistake of interpreting it as pushy behavior or a bad habit and respond by pushing the dog away. What they don't realize is that the escalation is almost always a last resort. The dog tried the quiet version first. They used the gentle approach, the soft ask, the extended paw, and when that message didn't land, when no one seemed to notice, they had no choice but to turn up the volume. That persistence almost always signals something real: physical discomfort, emotional distress, or an urgent need that has gone unmet through gentler attempts. But there is one final gesture that sits at the very top of this entire language. One behavior that surpasses everything else in terms of what it means and what it costs the dog to express it. That is the still paw. When a dog places their paw on you and simply holds it there, no tension in the limb, no movement, no agenda, they are performing their most honest and courageous act of trust. To understand why, you have to think about what 4 paws on the ground means to a dog at a biological, evolutionary level. It's their default position of readiness. It's how they stay prepared to move, to react, to run if danger presents itself. 4 paws on the ground is a survival posture that thousands of years of instinct have carved into their nervous system. When a dog lifts one paw and rests it on you and then holds it there, relaxed and still, they are voluntarily dismantling that survival readiness. They are choosing, consciously and deliberately, to be less prepared for the world in order to be more present with you. They are telling you something that no bark, no whine, and no wagging tail can fully communicate. With you, I don't have to be ready. With you, I'm not afraid. With you, I am home. That is the rarest and most extraordinary thing a dog can ever say. If this kind of insight is something you want more of, if you want to keep building the kind of relationship with your dog where you truly understand each other, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're first to know whenever we release something new. And if this video helped you see your dog in a new light, take a second to like it and share it, because there are owners out there who need to hear what their dogs have been trying to tell them. The next time that paw lands on you, don't rush past the moment. Don't shift it off your lap and go back to your phone. Stay with it. Make eye contact. Let your dog see, in your face, that their message arrived. Because the more you show up for the language they're speaking, the more freely they'll use it, and the deeper the bond between you will grow into something that very few people ever get to experience with another living creature.